Thanks for joining me once again on another episode of The Fool's Journey by the Third Eye of Providence. If this is the first time you're checking out this content, this is one video of a series that starts with the Fool card, and for each day in January, we're going through the tarot to the end, and I'm using the Robert Hansen's Tarot as a reference because it is a reversal red deck. Then I'm comparing the imagery in those cards to the Twin Tarot, which shows the positive light aspect and the shadow negative aspect. Today's episode is card number 14, Temperance. And let me get into the Complete Book of Tarot, Comprehensive Guide by Anthony Lewis. Let me show you what the Temperance card looks like in this deck. So, you see, the Temperance is a guardian angel, and in this image happens to be a man. But in the other tarot and many other versions of the tarot, it will be a woman. So, let's see. That is the Temperance. It says that the Temperance card represents artful blending and reconciliation. This card is connected to the astrological sign of Sagittarius, which is a centaur and also an archer. It is a fire sign ruled by Jupiter. So this element is connected to fire for this card. Now, going back, we have, let's see, myths that would be associated with the Temperance card would be the alchemist, the hermaphrodite, the transsexual, the creator, the centaur, the artist, the healer, the inventor. Interesting. Now, going back through traditions of the tarot, you would see this card to represent in the Mather's deck a combination, a confirmation, or a uniting. In the reverse, it would say this has to do with ill-advised combinations, disunion, and clashing interests. The Rider-Waite, when this card appears in the reading, it represents moderation, frugality, management, and accommodation, also economy. In the reverse, it would represent things connected with religious sects, priesthood, churches, sometimes even priests who will marry the person you're reading for, a disunion, unfortunate combinations, and competing interests. In the Order of the Golden Dawn, this card would represent combined forces, action, and material realization. So, keywords to keep in mind when the Temperance card comes in a reading upright, that this has to do with moderation, temperance, self-control, healing, the ability to cope, reconciliation of competing impulses, balancing different needs, discretion, mutual respect, composure, tempering, proportionality, the right mixture, proper measure, resolution, a union of opposites, harmonizing conflicting viewpoints, balancing contrary forces, artful combinations, the middle way, creative resolution, and the ability to negotiate. When it comes out in the reverse, you would see this to be connected with keywords of conflict, incompatibility, excesses, imbalance, immoderation, impatience, going to extremes, a lack of self-control, indecision, clashing interests, inconsiderate demands, and the inability to reconcile opposing forces, irreconcilable differences, and an all-or-nothing thinking. This card would be associated with it's my way or the highway. So, in the upright, when the Temperance card comes out in a reading, it suggests that you might be dealing with a situation involving the reconciliation of opposites within yourself. Like the alchemists of old, you are trying to convert a base metal into gold. You are called upon to act with moderation and exercise the virtue of temperance. With persistent effort, you will be able to blend competing forces harmoniously to create something of greater value. The Renaissance artist who creates this image were no doubt inspired by the mixing of water and wine in the Catholic Mass, during which the priest prays, "Through the mystery of this water and wine, we may partake in the divine nature of Christ, who humbled himself to share in our humanity." You see the two cups here? You can see it better in this card. So in the reverse, when the Temperance card comes out in a reading, it would say, "You're having a difficulty finding the middle way. Confronted by contradictory impulses, you feel at a loss about how to strike an artful balance. You are tempted to go against extremes rather than seeking the middle way of reconciliation. Ponder the words of the philosopher. Moderation in all things, including moderation." As Abraham Lincoln cautioned, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." So funny. Okay, so let me show you what the Guardian Angel Temperance card has to, what it represents in the symbolism. So, like you saw in this one, this is a man, but what I didn't know was that apparently this could be an androgynous person. So symbolism that is pretty important in many versions of the Temperance card that you will see is that this angel will typically always have one foot on the ground and one foot in the water. Again, we'll see the alchemy of the mixing of the cups. And another thing, of course, is that this person is an angel. What I'm also seeing is that there's these lilies or irises that will be pretty common imagery. The flowers in the card with the Temperance. So let me show you this one. Of course, this is an angel. They're guided by divine intuition. They're doing alchemy. But this is supposed to be you harnessing this higher self power, right? Look at all this energy around the sacral as well. This is about the creative unity of blending of two forces. Let me think. What else do we see? So the difference between these two cards, you'll notice right away, is that this angel is on the earth and this one is not. This one is suspended above. Now, it's kind of up to the person to decide if this angel is coming down from heaven or coming up from earth. But most importantly, you'll see that they've left the cups behind and that has spilled. So it's almost to represent wastefulness, right? Another thing you don't see in this card that's in the positive aspect is the swan here, right? And now the swan would talk all about having this this grace, right? This perfect balance, poise, stability. Another thing that I'm seeing here that is pretty common in the imagery is that there's a road here and that there is a dawn on the other side of this, and you'll see that there as well with the crown here in the background, but you don't see this hope, this new direction over here in the reverse of the Temperance. I'm sure there's plenty more symbolism with Temperance and maybe even some information about the angelic representation of the Temperance card that I'm not familiar with, but if you want to leave a comment below and help everybody else, including myself, learn more, definitely feel free to drop some knowledge down in the comments. Super appreciated. And yeah, I hope this has been helpful and enlightening to you on how to read cards and see the connection of the symbolism throughout many versions of the tarot. Make sure to stay tuned for the next episode. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button to get a notification when I post a new video daily for the month of January. And you can hit the save button to add this playlist to your library and check it out whenever you get a chance. So again, thanks for the support.